Take a few, that's what I want you to do. We're always told.
Joining us this evening is registered psychotherapist, hypnotherapist, and Reiki master Cindy Stone, who is also an author, who wrote the much-acclaimed Incidental Guru, and now she has just launched the first in a 3-part fictional series, Scorpion. Cindy, welcome, and we apologize for the long-winded introduction, but you have a lot going for you. And welcome.
Well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Now, the Incidental Guru was, in essence, as you describe it, a self-help manual. This book is fiction, yet you say your mission really hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed at all. You know, I've been a therapist for decades, and my life has been about helping people to become all of what they want to be and to grow and evolve as human beings. And the novel is just a natural extension of that.
So what was the inspiration behind doing it as a series, the Myriad series, and why is this one called Scorpion, or can you say?
Well, I can say, although it's kind of a long story, there were several influences that created this book. And the first one was I wanted to really let people know about this internal martial art that I had learned about several decades before. And I had met this man who was giving a workshop on internal chi. And he literally glowed. And he took a martial arts taekwondo master, and he gave him a little push, and that master flew across the room. But what really impressed me was this glowing man who, when he moved, he left a shimmering imprint. And I thought, wow, that is chi. That's energy. I want that. And so I started on this lifelong journey of martial arts and internal martial arts. And so that's one of the threads of this story. Another thread is I was given a necklace, which I have on, that has 3 stones that are almost 2,000 years old. And the first stone is etched with a scorpion. And that's where the title of the book came. And so because this 2,000-year-old stone just felt like history, it felt like there was an energy in it that I could experience as I put it on. I began to weave the story around this stone and this internal martial arts. And then, of course, I had people coming into my practice, men and women, young and old, who were talking to me about the things that they were experiencing and that they needed to grow from. Mm-hmm. And so all of these threads came together to create Scorpion.
Wow. Where did you get this necklace? How did that happen?
It was a boyfriend at the time.
Who found a $2,000-year-old necklace to give you?
Yes. Yeah. It was in a small museum in Montreal, actually. Mm. And he came out with this amazing necklace, and it feels like wearing history.
What are the key messages that you hope people will walk away with?
Well, you know, I think we're living in really uncertain times, and maybe we always are, but it really feels uncertain to me right now. Politically, environmentally, kind of like ethically and morally, people are losing their way a lot. And I really wanted to give young people particularly, but not just young people, an opportunity to explore a world that has deep and great meaning, that can bring about an internal peace in a way that I found, that I didn't find through anything else, an internal peace that can make a difference in the world. I think that we're living in this really fast-paced world. Mm-hmm. There's terrorism, there's political things going on, there's bullying in the schoolyard for kids, there's bullying on the street. Like, there's just so many influences that I wanted to create an influence that had a positive impact.
And you did that through, the story is really about the empowerment of a young woman, Avery.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
But tell her about her relationship with the male-dominated world, because you say her father was a lot like Donald Trump.
Yes. I didn't even realize it as I was writing it, but he is a wealthy New York narcissist.
Okay.
And he is a global influencer. And so he is, of a male-dominated world, and he definitely dominated his daughter. And so she grew up under his influence, under his domination. And then she meets these martial arts men, internal martial artists. And of course, they come from a very male-dominated world as well. When I first started learning internal martial arts, I was the only woman in the whole group for several decades. So it's quite a male-dominated world, and she ends up having to evolve and grow. And she begins to find herself among all of these powerful men. And because of that, they are also forced to begin to look inside of themselves and who they are and what they're about and what choices they're going to make in their lives for themselves and how that's going to influence everything. So Avery, the main character, she really evolves during the course of the story from someone who was depressed and didn't really understand herself into this really formidable young woman. And it's quite wonderful to see.
So who's your target audience, would you say? Who's your ideal reader for this book?
Well, I originally thought that my ideal reader would be young women. But what I'm finding is it's not just young women, but it's young men and older men too. I think that because I wove in the issues that men and women are bringing to me in my practice, I think that people are really resonating with the characters and the struggles that they're having. So they're learning something as they move along with the story, which is, it's a fun, wild ride. It's a big story of sort of worldly proportions. But the characters themselves are dealing with things that we deal with every day. How do we get along with each other? What are the choices that we're making? What's a good choice for us? How do we connect? If we have a partner that's growing, how do we grow too so that we're not left behind? That's a very familiar problem with men these days. Is, these powerful women, and now what do?
So this is the first in a trilogy.
Yes.
What is going to happen in volume 2 and 3?
That's a really good question. The characters themselves, of course, are growing, so they make changes that I'm not even aware of yet. They're wonderful. So each book goes along and tracks a different aspect of the story. So it's not like covering the same ground all over like many trilogies are. Every story goes into a new world and new issues and new growth for the characters.
Do you expect there to be more issues for the world to deal with, for people to deal with, by the time you write the second one and the third one?
I hope not, but I think there might be.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How is your writing process? Are you one of those, you set so many hours a day and you sit down and work, or does it come to you more fluidly?
I'm a little bit more fluid than that, a little bit more organic. I mean, I aspire to be one of those people that get up at 4 a.m. and write for 4 hours, but I'm not.
But I'm not. I just don't want to get up at 4 a.m.
No, me neither.
But that's okay. Okay. So you're obviously a firm believer in the power of martial arts, but just give us a brief, when you're talking about internal martial arts, what exactly do you mean?
Oh, that's such a great question, because many people don't even know that there is an internal martial art. And the difference is external martial arts requires force and physical muscle strength. And internal martial arts relies on the development and the movement and the projection of energy. And you don't have to have physical muscular force in order to evolve this chi, this energy, and project it.
And where is Scorpion available?
Scorpion is available at all your local bookstores. It's online, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and it should be in the bookstores now.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I love talking about the book. It was a joy to write.
Well, this is Cindy Stone you're listening to, and this is What She Said on The Jewel. Stay with us.